It's about an angry young boy who hates and learns to love.
And I suppose ultimately the message of the movie is that love is stronger than hate.
I was brought up to hate the English. I had to come here to learn about love.
And what did you learn about love?
It's much stronger than hate.
It deals with a lot of different issues, but one of them being sexuality, and that, that involves everybody, doesn't it? From whatever age group is part of your life.
This is sort of a gay love story, but it's not a gay film at all. I mean, it's got a bit of everything in it.
Stay away from me, do you hear? No. You was fighting the zoo with son. No. You stay away from me.
Brendan Behan went to England with a very big agenda, and that agenda was an IRA agenda of, bombing in England and making a stand for Ireland in that context.
Ah! Where's your gun, you paddy bastard?
But I think that he learned there, he learned to love the English, which was a big turnaround for him.
All right. Where's he trying? I got 4-year Borstal.
It's very rare that you find a script dealing with younger people that actually has something to say, has a point.
I'm a POW. It's my duty to escape.
He's a POW.
I think he's a great central character in a fascinating situation, and he comes to a good end.
You're supposed to say stop.
I don't want to.
It's a great love story, and there's so many things, and reading every page of it, it kind of brings you in. It's none of that crap that you see, coming out of Hollywood these days. You get these teen films that are breaking records box office wise, but this is artistic film.
I've said 20 times.
10 years ago, I got involved in a project to try and make a biopic on Brendan Behan, and we were about 7 years in the process of trying to make that film when it finally collapsed. And in the wake of that, Jim, my brother, suggested to me that we take a smaller project like Borstal Boy and shoot that. So really, this part of the process has been about 2.5 years getting to fruition, but really, the genesis of it is about 10 years ago.
No, other way.
I first read Borstal Boy in Kilmainham prison, appropriately, while we were shooting In the Name of the Father. There's just a spirit in the book that's amazing. Just a spirit of, it sounds a bit hokey, but of love actually, where this kid in these extreme circumstances finds the best in everybody that he encounters.
It's wonderful.
It's not done yet.
I don't know what to say. How can I ever repay you?
Some booze, cigarettes. What do you reckon, Brendan? Some food?
I'd love to put on a play.
Play? What?
Yeah, a play. Do you think your father would let us?
What, a Christmas pantomime?
What? Like Cinderella? What do you mean?
That's a great idea.
No. I was thinking of something by Oscar Wilde.
For an American to come here and play a Dublin guy who's, quite the legend, it's very staggering, to come in looking on the outside. But it's great because you got a guy like Peter Sheridan who's directing it, who knows this character being better than Behan knew himself.
Okay, let's go for a second take on this.
My family grew up in 44 Seville Place, which is about 400 yards from where the Behans grew up in Russell Street at the back of Crow Park. So in a sense we're neighbours. They're, a generation earlier than the Sheridans, but there'd be a lot in common. We went to the same schools, we played in the same streets, we kicked ball in the same parks, all of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of similarities in the background and a lot of identification with where Behan is coming from.
He is a real person, and people have a lot of expectations, which may have helped me get the part, because I'd heard of him. I knew he was a writer, I knew he was a playwright, but not knowing a lot about his history and his past, coming into it, it was sort of that fresh look, and might have helped me out.
Are you the IRA boy?
Yes, sir.
It required somebody with an extraordinary degree of knowledge, commitment, presence, call it what you will, but it's a screen thing. It's got to do it when you put a camera on somebody. Do you want to spend 90 minutes with this person? Sean Hattasey had that quality for me, that when I saw him on the tapes in auditions, I just said, yeah, this is a guy I'd want to know, where's he gonna take me?
We are the Peatbog soldiers, marching with our spades.
Well, you know, I come from a theatre background, so I'm very much an actor's director. So I would have chosen my cast really carefully. I would have taken a long, long time in the casting of this film. I spent a lot of time in New York. I spent a lot of time in England. I did a lot of auditioning in Dublin. So I think that I've put together a wonderful cast.
You were never an orphan.
Wait, you didn't know my mother? I used to dream of being an orphan.
I found out about this like a long time ago. I got a message off of Jim Sheridan. He rang me up and said he's doing a film called The Borstal Boy, and he'd like me to do it and all this. And so I thought, Borstal Boy, a little hard nut in a Borstal, running about, beating everyone up, you know, the daddy and all that. And I got the script, and I was a gay sailor. I just thought, oh, this is I'm gonna have to act now.
You just be yourself.
He's a young boy, 17, but who knows where he is sexually, and isn't frightened about expressing that. He's gay, and that's it. And to be in a Borstal, I suppose, and to be openly gay has got to be a nightmare, you know. But that's what makes him such a strong character, because he's like, I'm gay, you know, and that's that.
This is my escape. No Jews and no queers.
We've had, a wonderful cast in the film. I mean, from Michael York on one end of the scale to these fantastic young actors like Sean Hattasey and Danny Dyer, Lee Inglesby, and some of the great young Irish actors. I think they're all going to be major stars. I think we'll see a lot more of these young actors in the future.
As a prisoner of war, it was my duty to escape.
Oh, I see. So now 2 boys are dead.
Yes, I'm getting quite under the skin of my character and feeling very fond of these boys. And I think one of the highlights of this film will be the play. The boys put on a version of The Importance of Being Earnest. It was hilarious to watch, moving and touching.
I think dressing up as a woman was quite hard for me. It was quite heavy. You know, full caked in makeup, lipstick, and all the banter, you know, from everybody else, and that was quite hard.
Darling.
A whole day dressed as a woman.
You boys are going to have to live with this for the rest of your lives.
The character I play is someone called Joyce, and he's the man who runs the Borstal. And he's obviously an authority figure, and yet he has a sort of human understanding.
So make your choice. 3 months detention, or your word that you will make a new start.
I always go by instinct, and I read the screenplay and immediately felt it was something that I wanted to do. It was a wonderful humanist statement.
Hello, Dad.
Michael York as my father is just, it's fantastic. It's just, I mean, as soon as I heard it, it was just like, I'm so excited. And he's brilliant. He's lovely to work with. Like, I think it was my first day shooting, and I had 2 kind of big scenes with him, and he was really into kind of just, improvising a bit beforehand, and really working the scenes out, and he's really enthusiastic, and he was just lovely. He's charming. He's a really charming man. My mum was so jealous. She couldn't believe it. She's thrilled. So no, he's lovely. He's lovely.
Ain't anywhere.
You're hopeless.
Elizabeth.
Look, Dad, don't treat me like one of your prisoners.
And the character of Liz, I found really interesting, because so often you come across scripts and the girl's just, she's the love interest, and that's the only reason why she's there, but with this script, she's much more than that. She's much stronger. She's much more of a reason for being there.
You were right.
What's the point?
No, not to me. Right. For everyone.
The sexual coming of age in this story also crosses genders. Brendan loves both a girl and a boy in this film, so he is sexually confused, and he has to come to terms with that.
It was strange. When I kissed you during the play, it felt looked all right.
But I think the most challenging scene's going to be when I have to kiss Brendan, because we've already done a little bit of a kiss, but I mean a full-on passionate kiss it's going to be, you know, it's going to be heavy. It's going to be really, but I know that when I've done it, and I know I'm going to do the job well. There's no other way. I know I'm going to do the job well. Once I've done that, I can do anything. There's nothing in this game there's nothing that can hold me back or frighten me. I've just got to put my tongue in his mouth.
My biggest aspiration is for the movie to be seen by a lot of people. I think it's going to be an incredibly popular film. I think it's a very funny film. I think there's great humour in it. I think there's great spirit in the film. And I think that the spirit of the film is absolutely irrepressible.
The tang of blackberries, wet with rain, on the hilltop. In the silence of the prison, the clear whistle of the train, the happy whispering of lovers. To the lonely one.
I think that people will respond to the internal life that's going on within the characters in this film, and I anticipate and look forward to it being an enormous success.
I think this film has enormous potential. Obviously, I wouldn't want to be here if one didn't feel this, but I feel it strongly.
It's hard to tell at this early stage, but I think we're making a great film. Great films are individual. They're different from other great films, as opposed to the Hollywood thing of trying to make a movie that's like some other movie. So I think we're making a movie that people haven't seen before.